mom's first son, and I made my brother go first because I thought I'd be less emotional, but that's not going to happen. First of all, I just want to thank you all for being here. We knew this would be an amazing day, and it certainly has. And I just want to also, I know my dad's already done it, but I want to thank both my sisters for all of their hard work and for making this day possible, because Sean and I are slouches and we thanks. The other thing about our various talks today, we didn't compare notes, okay? So we just hoped that we wouldn't overlap too much. But if kids are very fortunate, they're blessed with a parent who seems to live to make the child's life better. Some of these life experiences can seem so special and magical that they are remembered by the child forever. My mom made a point of engineering many of such magical moments for me and my siblings. I was old enough to remember many of these events, but for others, I was too young to appreciate them at the time. Many of the magical events Mom made possible for me involved considerable sacrifice. For example, I cannot imagine what it must have been like for Mom at the age of 25 to have two young sons, ages 1 and 2, and then to have to come to grips with the reality that her new husband, a naval aviator and carrier pilot, had just deployed for a 6-month cruise where he would fly dangerous missions over Vietnam and other Southeast Asian countries. It must have been incredibly terrifying and daunting for her. Thank God she had the support of her mother and father at the time. This is one of many examples of how Mom sacrificed for her kids so they could have the best life possible. Another magical moment that I recall occurred when we lived in Corpus Christi, Texas, which, by the way, I don't know if any of you visited Corpus Christi or like it much or what. So if you like it, I'm sorry if I offend you, but I still maintain that even though I was like 5 or 6 when I was there, that Corpus Christi is in fact the armpit of our country. Megan was born there, but she was the bright spot. No, true.
That's what you said when we brought her home.
That's true. Well, that's because she was born on my 5th birthday, and they didn't even wrap her. So I remember at Corpus one particular evening when Dad must have been on duty at the naval base, and Mom announced that we would have a special night. And although we were not allowed to watch TV at the dinner table, she told us that night we would be able to watch a special musical on our 12-inch black and white TV on the dinner table. I remember she made pork chops, and we watched the popular musical The King and I with Julie Andrews and Yul Brynner. And I remember being spellbound, feeling so special. Mom offered another magical experience for me later in life when she planned a family trip in 2001 to travel to Louisville to see the Kentucky Derby. This trip was a celebration of my 40th and Megan's 35th birthdays. And we got to view the races from the Kip family Derby box. Yep. This was an incredibly special weekend for me, and as usual, Mom made it happen. Another memory from childhood was looking forward to the days that Mom hosted her bridge group. These days were particularly memorable because I remember figuring out different ways to pilfer candy from the whole place of the various folding tables. Especially those white, chalky candies with the minty green gelatinous stickers.
That's what all these
That's right. I also remember that Mom really wanted all her kids to develop an appreciation for classical music, art, and literature. She would organize family time for us to be exposed to different composers and artists. At the time, this is an understatement, at the time I failed to fully appreciate the importance of art in all its forms. I was more interested in Creed's Clearwater Revival. As I grew older, however, especially after high school and college, I was able to truly see what a special gift Mom attempted to offer us by exposing us to the arts. Speaking of the arts, as many of you know, Mom was an accomplished interior decorator and designer. As anyone who has visited one of our various homes over the years can attest, as soon as you entered our front door, you knew that house had been decorated with love by Joyce Browne. In addition to her skills related to interior decorating, Mom was also an extremely talented writer of both prose and poetry. Her creativity was truly inspiring. Another area of creativity for Mom, as Sean mentioned, was her cooking. And there's just no way, Sean, we're all going to mention her cooking. Right. She was always courageously trying new recipes to expose us to different kinds of culinary experiences. The rule in our house was, you don't have to eat it if you don't like it, but you will try it. Thank goodness for this rule, because 9 times out of 10, not only did I like the food, I loved it. As Sean pointed out, some of my favorite dishes growing up, I didn't quite know they weren't extravagant, meals, but it was Mom's meals like my mom's meatloaf, beef stroganoff, vegetable beef soup, also prime rib with bread pudding. I also remember some extremely exciting meals that we cooked ourselves in a fondue. In addition to her cooking skills, Mom was a great party planner. She loved entertaining. She was happiest when she made others happy in our home. I especially remember a magical moment when somehow Mom expertly planned a surprise 16th birthday for me without me ever suspecting it for a second. I'll never forget the feeling of surprise and, yes, embarrassment when I opened the front door after working at Taco La Paz. My very first job, by the way, wearing a grubby, grease-stained white shirt and black pants, only to be met by a well-timed roar of surprise from all my special friends. A friend of mine and Sean also reminded me the other day of some additional birthday magic that Mom planned and executed flawlessly. Now, we had a discussion about this, and I think I remembered it incorrectly. I think this actually happened on my brother's birthday, but he's allowed me to share it with you. I have absolutely no memory of this experience myself, but he told me that my mom had expertly somehow hidden a water balloon in the birthday cake. Well, you can imagine the reaction when the birthday boy attempted to cut the first piece. And I thought I got my sense of playfulness and humor from you, Dad.
There was a backup cake.
There was a backup cake. Throughout our childhood and on into adulthood, one of Mom's primary missions in life has been to inspire us to be the best persons we could be by modeling that very behavior. And she exemplified these behaviors in the many selfless ways she went above and beyond to make our lives extraordinary, special, indeed magical. Sorry. Prior to Mom's passing, one of the things that I truly did not know about her was just how many people she touched and helped during her lifetime. I think the reason for my ignorance along these lines is that Mom gave and helped others quietly and humbly. These are character traits I hope to emulate more often in my own life. Following Mom's passing, one of the many blessings and consolations that my family and I have received are the numerous cards and letters of sympathy which describe the various special ways Mom was of service to others. We will miss her, but her legacy of magic making will live on forever. Thank you.